Huge, sincere apology to all the Superman fans. I'm sorry for being a Superman hater my whole life. I'm now converted. I now love Superman. I love this new Superman movie. And I told Daniel Lewa we need to know what the best Superman Lego set is immediately.
What's crazy is there really are not a lot to choose from. So we just had to basically do almost all of them in a tournament bracket style tourney to see what is truly the best Superman set.
We have 8 sets that we put into this tournament bracket, but we could not do it alone with our limited Superman knowledge. We had to bring on the Lego DC, the Lego Batman greatest of all time, Langster Builds from the Brick Hour podcast. Thank you, Langster Builds, so much for joining us. Oh my gosh.
Thank you guys for having me back. It's always a pleasure being on here, and I'm very happy to get to talk about Superman today.
So, as we can see, we have the bracket here. Langster Builds chose his top 4, Daniel Lewa chose his top 2, and I chose my top 2 Superman sets. They just had to have a Superman minifigure within the set. We did not include CMFs. We did not include promotional items. We did not include brickheads, things like that. Daniel Lewa, what are the 2 sets that you chose?
I chose the Superman Mech versus Lex Luthor and the Superman Battle of Smallville.
Great picks, great picks. What about you, Langster Builds? What were your top 4 picks for Superman?
My picks were the Darkseid Invasion, which is the Justice League Javelin Jet. I did the Superman versus Power Armor Lex from 2012. Love that set. I also picked the Brainiac Attack set. Another really fun one based off Lego Batman 3, and I also took the Heroes of Justice Sky High Battle from Batman vs. Superman.
For my top 2 picks, Superman and Krypto team up, because how could I literally not? And lastly, the Justice League Anniversary Party. So let's get into it. It is a randomized bracket, randomized seeding, but the matchups actually look pretty good. So let's start with round 1. Are we starting with the best set, Langster Builds?
This set, in my opinion, is just one of the best DC sets of all time. You get the Justice League plane, which just looks sweet. You get Superman, and obviously he's the leader of the Justice League, so it makes perfect sense for him to be here. But you get Darkseid, you get the Darkseid craft, and while Darkseid is primarily a Justice League villain, he's known kind of really for his rivalry with Superman. But you also get this incredible exclusive Green Arrow, this exclusive Cyborg, and this exclusive Hawkman. The Javelin plane has a feature where you can basically push a button on the back and it will launch Superman out of the inside of the plane off of one of the now extraordinarily terrible for your minifigures super jumpers.
Oh my gosh. Are we starting with the best one, Daniel Lewa? Why do you think your pick, Superman Battle of Smallville, do you think it competes at all with the Darkseid Invasion?
Really tough matchup, but I think it has a shot because you literally have General Zod, Feora, Toron, like all these very highly desirable Kryptonian minifigures, which are really nice. And the build itself is actually pretty cool. It is kind of military coded, which Lego doesn't really do that often, so that's kind of cool in its own way. And the build itself is very reminiscent of what you get in the movie. So as far as something from a Superman movie, I think this does the job really well.
It looks like it's pulled right out of the movie. You do get that little like military Jeep, which we don't very much see often from Lego outside of like Indiana Jones. And this Superman figure also is, in my opinion, one of the best Superman figures we ever get in terms of Lego renditions.
Okay, but how do you think this Superman compares with the one from the Darkseid Invasion?
I mean, it's 2 different versions of Superman. I mean, you have the original Man of Steel Henry Cavill suit, which I love that movie to this day, and you get the comic book Superman. So it just kind of depends on your taste. I personally think that the Man of Steel suit looks a little better minifigure-wise than the classic comic book one. I think there's other comic book versions of Superman that do a better job later on in terms of with leg print and whatnot. This Darkseid set is just so good. Like it's hard to say that anything's better than it. This is a great first matchup, by the way. Like I can't even talk about how good this is.
Dang it, maybe the seating is messed up because maybe this could have been a grand finals potentially. But so you're saying the Man of Steel Superman minifigure is better, but the Darkseid set overall is better than the Smallville one.
I think so. It does edge it out just barely.
But man, it's tough. I mean, this is what basically Zack Snyder versus James Gunn. It's bright and zany versus more dark and gritty military, right? So it's super interesting, but I think the Darkseid carries it, and Langster's right. That's a big Superman specific villain. So let's just say it. Let's go ahead and give it to Darkseid Invasion to advance in the bracket. Oh gosh, then we have round 2, which is Superman versus Power Armor Lex versus the Justice League Anniversary Party. I put up the Justice League Anniversary Party Langster Builds because it really stood out to me when I was scrolling through the portfolio of Superman sets. Because number 1, It's fun. Number 2, Hawk Girl. And I have a little bit of Hawk Girl bias right now, just seeing her in the film. And you even have on the turntables little Batman records. You think it stands a chance against the Power Armor Lex?
I mean, when I look at this set, Lego Batman movie, first of all, had some phenomenal sets, and this was one of them. This is also one of the first, sorry, not even that. This is the only time we ever see any segment of the Fortress of Solitude ever represented in Lego form. And it looks great. You know, you get the crystal parts around the sides. You have the giant DJ booth for DJ Wonder Dog to set up on, which is sweet. You get the Superman figure with the super, zany grin. It's just fun. It's one of those Lego Batman movie sets that just took the gimmick and ran with it. You get El Dorado, who appeared in the Super Friends cartoon. You get Wonder Dog, who was in that. And then this Green Arrow is probably the best Green Arrow figure we ever get, ever.
Yeah, these are like CMF quality figures. And I think when we look back at the Lego Batman movie, that kind of set this standard and this bar for a superhero, especially like Lego depictions of superheroes, that we hold everything to sense. Like, oh, why can't we get any Marvel character or DC character that looks as good as this Green Arrow or Hot Girl or El Dorado? Like, they did it so well. It's just frustrating.
The way that you're talking about the anniversary set right now, it's like, okay, Power Armor Lex wouldn't even have a chance, bro. Because Power Armor Lex doesn't have El Dorito and Wonder Dog.
Okay. No, but Power Armor Lex is like an iconic look for Lex Luthor. Yeah, it's not like just necessarily a huge mech all the time. It's more like something he wears, but it has that similar purple and green kryptonite built into it. Like, I think it's pretty cool that there's a depiction of that in Lego that works this well.
Let's also talk about what Power Armor Lex, that set, meant for the DC fandom. This was the first set to ever include Superman. Ever.
Oh.
It was part of the launch wave of the DC superheroes theme. It included not only Superman and Lex Luthor, but it was the first time we ever get Wonder Woman. And that Wonder Woman figure is outstanding to this day. The Lex Luthor mech itself, the arms are superposable. The legs are a little stiff, but this mech itself shows up in Lego Batman 2 during the final boss fight. You have to fight Lex Luthor while he's in it.
Wow, and this is why we had you on here, because you have this knowledge, this wisdom.
Yes.
You have been to the Fortress of Solitude.
But let's really think about it, though, because I think we're dealing with great minifigures versus a better build. Daniel Lewa, if you could have one of these sets and their minifigures right now on your desk, which one would you choose?
Choose the party, because literally the Green Arrow, the Hot Girl, Superman, and El Dorado is like, it's just too good of a minifigure pack. That's
but this Lex Luthor mech's gonna look way doper on display.
Yeah, but like for superhero stuff, I don't care about the builds. At least in Lego superhero stuff, just the minifigs.
I will say this, as somebody who owns both of these, I only have one of them left assembled. My Lex Luthor mech is no longer with me. It kind of came apart years ago. But my that chunk of Fortress of Solitude, that is on my shelf. It is proudly displayed. I think when you look at which set is better playability-wise, I think having that mech robot to fight your Superman with is a better toy overall. I think that Fortress of Solitude set has way better minifigures.
So Daniel Lewa voted anniversary. Langster Builds, do you prefer one or the other?
I think we're going to give it to the anniversary set because it represents the character of Superman on the whole better than the Power Armor Lex does, because it is the Fortress of Solitude. It's something from inside his sanctuary. So I think we have to give it to the anniversary set just for that, but it was very close in terms of like just what sets better. Because like I said, that Power Armor Lex, there's just a lot of weight behind that one.
Wait, are we going to get roasted if we choose the anniversary over the mech?
No, definitely not. Because there's a Lex Luthor mech that comes down in 2018 that's like 1,000 times better than this one.
Well, the anniversary party goes up in the bracket. It's going to have to go up against Darkseid next. Okay. Next up, we have the Brainiac Attack versus Superman Mech versus Lex Luthor 2025. Daniel Lewa, you chose this one from this year. There were other things you could have chose, the giant flying fox Batman, but I have to kind of agree with you, Daniel Lewa, because these like $15 mechs they've been doing this year with Iron Man and Ultron and Spider-Man and Anti-Venom, where they have the villain with the mech, like it's just a shoe-in. And I heard Langster Builds say on his podcast that this Lex Luthor was a spectacular minifigure.
I mean, look at this. It's awesome. Something that I have heard is how meaningful this is to finally have Superman back after a long hiatus in Lego form and to have Lex Luthor in his Power Armor mech But in minifigure form, I think that's just going to be more displayable in the long run with all your other minifigures. So Lego knew exactly what superhero fans wanted this year, which was a cheap way to get highly desirable villain figures, and this does that very well.
We wanted Mr. Terrific. We wanted the Fortress of Solitude.
Hopefully.
We wanted LexCorp. We wanted to go watch the movie and then go get the Lego sets just like I bought the Mr. Terrific Fortnite set. Lego, you dropped a ball, bro. You guys are so stingy. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways.
And I was going to say, I have a love-hate relationship with this mech because, one, you're right. This is the first time we get Superman in minifigure form since the DC Superheroes CMF in 2019. We have not seen Superman in over 6 years in Lego form in a physical product. However, as great as this mech is, I hate it because this is not based on the Superman movie. And the fact that we don't get any sets based on the Superman movie is a crying shame. We've all seen it. It was a great film. I love it for what it is, but I hate it for what they gave us this instead of giving us anything related to the movie itself.
Can you appreciate it a little bit as like a comic book, Superman comic book, Lex Luthor? Like, do you like the Superman minifigure itself? Like, how does that compare to
I'll
others?
tell you what, with the Superman minifigure, I don't like the fact that his legs are just solid blue because it feels like they just cut off. But if you do what I did and you give him a better hairpiece and you give him dual molded legs, he's phenomenal. He's probably the best Superman minifigure we've ever gotten in terms of the comic book look.
Can this Brainiac attack compete with the mech? Because I'm going to be honest, Langster Builds, this build looks cooler. It looks like Alien Conquest, bro. Is Brainiac even a Superman villain? Like, who is this character, bro?
So Brainiac, for those who don't know, is kind of like this other... He's an alien, obviously. And his whole thing is he's just obsessed with knowledge. He goes from planet to planet. He collects cities by shrinking them down and putting them in these little bottles. And he just keeps them to study them. Very famously in the comic books, Brainiac actually has Kandor, which is the capital city of Krypton, in a jar. In the comic book is kind of like he went to Krypton right before the planet blew up and shrunk the city down to basically preserve some level of Kryptonian legacy, which is crazy. But this ship itself, it's awesome. You got the skull face on the front. It does have some Alien Conquest vibes. But then minifigure-wise, we get Superman. This is the first time we ever get Supergirl, which is a great figure. She's phenomenal. And this is the first time we ever get Martian Manhunter in a retail set outside of the polybag, like one you could have gotten a couple years prior in 2014.
This is way too easy. Like, as cool as the power armored Lex is, all of what Langster was just saying, the figures, the Martian Manhunter, and the very like Alpha Team X Alien Conquest vibes that we're getting from this ship. It's like the perfect package. It's a desirable build and figures. Like, easily it wins.
Yeah, and after Langster told us the history of what this character did, and that Supergirl minifigure looks extremely clean. So I guess, yeah, I agree that the Brainiac attack should go ahead and advance.
I am A-okay with that.
Then last of round one, we have the Heroes of Justice Sky High battle versus the Superman and Krypto team up.
So when I look at this set, I think the one thing people think is, this is a Batman set because it's the Batwing. I look at it as it's from Batman v Superman. And the build of this set is actually awesome. The Batwing itself is sweet. It's got the cool little like rotating turret on the front. The wings can fold up for like a landing mode. Minifigure wise though, we do get a Superman. We get Henry Cavill's Superman from Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. And this one of him is superior to the one that appears in the smaller set from the Wave because he has dual molded legs. You also get Wonder Woman, which this is one of the best Wonder Woman minifigures ever because she has wraparound printing on the legs. She got the arm print for her gauntlets. The Lex helicopter looks great. You get the Great Batman with the dual molded legs. This is, believe it or not, is the last time we ever see Lois Lane in a retail set. This is a pretty good representation of this movie entirely. It's really just missing Doomsday, and it would have been perfect.
About $60 for 517 pieces in 2016 versus Superman and Krypto Team Up, which is $20 for 200 pieces in 2018. This is obviously going to be a little bit more comics-based set versus a movie-based set. You can obviously tell by the color palette being a lot brighter. But come on, Daniel Lewa, this set literally has Krypto in it. Do we ever get Krypto again? I don't even know.
Krypto shows up in the DC Superhero Girls theme as a puppy on 2 separate occasions.
Oh, yeah, got it.
The value of this set is going to go way up after this movie, and then after the Supergirl movie, if it has Lobo actually in it, like, this is going to skyrocket.
Oh, well, first of all, let's talk about Lobo's bike because it's awesome. It's super comic, zany, wild, like it's Lobo's essence in a bike, which is great. But this kryptonite cell that you get that he's trapped in or whatever, and Krypto's whole thing is he's trying to break Superman out, the kind of the play of the set. This cell can be attached to the back of the Lex Luthor mech that came out the same year as like a backpack build for it.
Wow.
So it's kind of like this set almost acts like partially DLC for that set, because it's like, oh, you have the big Lex mech, you buy this, not only do you get the cool Lobo bike, but you can stick this cell on the back, so where it's like Lex is walking around with the Superman cell with him trapped in it on his mech, which is sweet.
I don't know. I'll ask you again, Daniel Leo. If you could have one of these sets right now, which one would you take? Because honestly, my vote goes towards Lobo because I always lean towards the comics sets, and I don't like this Lex Luthor.
I'm leaning towards the Sky High Battle. I think you get more bang for your buck there. And some of those figures are just so good. The Wonder Woman and even the Batman with the dual molded legs and the Man of Steel and the Lois Lane. Like, yeah, the Lex is whatever, but you do get a very complete package. It's not just some dinky little monkey kid side build off to the side made of kryptonite. You actually have a vehicle versus vehicle. They're substantial enough to go against each other, and a great figure selection. So it has to be that for me.
I will say, too, the Heroes of Justice Sky High Battle, this is the only set that we get that Superman ever has dual molded legs in. We never get another set with Superman with dual molded legs again after this.
Well, I guess I got outvoted 2v1 with the Sky High Battle. Fair enough. I guess y'all want a Gal Gadot minifigure. That bad.
Methuselah, no.
This bracket is spicy. Oh my gosh. Round 2 within the Superman bracket. Going back to the Darkseid invasion and going back to the
Darkseid invasion.
Why did they spell it like Darkseid?
They had to differentiate it from Darth Vader. I don't know.
Because it's Jack Kirby and he does stuff that doesn't make any sense. So just roll with it.
So that means it's the Darkseid invasion versus the Justice League anniversary party. Okay. Well, these are both I don't want to say funner sets, but they're both brighter sets, right?
What's also crazy is both of these sets have one of the Hawk people, and both sets also have a version of Green Arrow, which is even more wild. They both ended up against each other.
Okay, and you said you like this Green Arrow better from the anniversary party.
If we're going off of which set has a better Green Arrow, the anniversary party definitely does, but that's because this is more like classic comic Green Arrow, and the other one is like New 52 Green Arrow. Man, I love that Javelin. That's just one of my favorite sets like of all time. It's in my top 10.
Yeah, that's true, Daniel. What are we even talking about? Like, the Darkseid set's probably just better.
It has to be. Like, you could get both of these and have a beautiful, complete Superman package. But yeah, Darkseid Invasion easily. The Cyborg too. It's a great Cyborg.
That wasn't so hard after all. Darkseid Invasion is up already in grand finals. Oh crap. Then second match of round 2 is the Brainiac attack versus Heroes of Justice Sky High. Oh gosh, yeah, okay. Like, it's another thing like we just had with the comic one versus sort of the more movie one. Gosh.
For me, it's pretty clear what I would prefer more, maybe because of my early 2000s nostalgia, but I still think the Brainiac attack is a more complete package, incredible figure selection, and a really awesome build. Whereas with the Sky High Battle, one build is cool. The helicopter with its green color, it doesn't quite do it for me as much. I think the Brainiac attack is better.
I'll also say, as somebody who does own both of these, only one of them is on display right now, and it is the Brainiac attack, because that Brainiac ship is just so sweet. And the fact that it's playable in Lego Batman 3 is also just even more fun. The fact that I get to play as this toy in a game. Had Doomsday been included as a big fig in Heroes of Justice, I would have picked that over this. Because I think Doomsday is a more recognizable Superman villain, more iconic Superman villain than Brainiac. Yeah. But his omission from that entire theme, which is nuts considering he's in every trailer ever for the movie. Brainiac Attack has to be the one that moves on.
Hey, I would actually vote for that one too. So 3 for 3 on Brainiac Attack. That's pretty quick round 2, but we're already up to grand finals. Daniel Lewa.
These are like perfect Lego sets. Like, both of these just epitomize everything that you would want out of a Lego set, especially a superhero Lego set.
And you guys missed the heyday of Lego DC. It was so sad now.
I feel like I missed the heyday of Lego Marvel too. Like the 2016, 2015, Lego Marvel was also putting out bangers too that I missed out, like the Web Warriors Bridge. So yeah, they need to bring back these kind of sets. Maybe they weren't performing well. I don't know.
They were actually selling out. Lego stores could not keep the Justice League wave in stock. This one and the Green Lantern one, they could not keep them in stock.
Brainiac Attack versus Darkseid Invasion. This is ridiculous. Like, both these sets would actually go so well together. They both fit similar color, like brightness. They both fit comic-y.
You guys are like asking me to pick between my kids right now. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. This is gonna be hard.
Okay, let's go. Let's zoom in. Like, let's first just look at the figs and compare what figure selection you would prefer out of the two.
I would say this. I feel like Brainiac Attack is a little bit more Superman-specific figs because you have the Supergirl and the Brainiac, whereas this one's more Justice League. But then again, you get the Darkseid, so it's tough.
I would totally agree with that. I think minifigure-wise, the Brainiac Attack is more closely related to Superman, only because you do get Supergirl and Brainiac is kind of, he originally is a Superman villain but then becomes like a Justice League villain later on. I don't know, I'm going back and forth because on the one hand, you're right. The Brainiac Attack set is a more Superman-oriented set, but if you want to talk about which set is better, for me, it's easily the Javelin. It has to be the Darkseid Invasion.
So, like, figures and build, you would say the Darkseid Invasion exceeds the other one.
What do you think would look better on display, Daniel? This Brainiac one or the Jet?
Maybe I'm not as familiar with DC as I should be, but the Javelin isn't as distinctive. Like, I wouldn't be able to look at it and be like, that's the Javelin, just maybe because of my familiarity. And so it seems like, okay, it's a cool spaceship. It's a really nice, very curvy, cool spaceship. The Brainiac Attack, I'm like, wow, that build is so perfect. You don't have to have any familiarity with DC to know that that is a dope looking ship.
Daniel, your point is perfect. Like, if you don't know DC, you don't know this is the Javelin. Like, you might even think it's a Quinjet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it could be a Buzz Lightyear spaceship. Like, the colors are similar. Like, really, though.
So, do you have them nearby? Could you hold these up?
Yeah, want me to grab them?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
So here's the Javelin.
Beautiful.
It's clean.
Wow.
The Javelin,
it's really clean.
There's a feature on the back where you can pull this lever and the
Ooh.
The wings rotate up. This little button here flicks the inside open, launch Superman out. So that's sweet. And lower this down, 2 deployable bombs that come out. So that's also pretty sweet.
They packed so much into that. Holy cow.
And then when you look at the Brainiac set, the one thing I would... So there's the cannon, which can be knocked off. There's a flick missile on the side. The skull just looks sweet. Pretty spacious interior. The only downside with this, in my opinion, is these don't, like, I wish there was a gear on the back. Like, I wish I could turn the engines and have the legs move. That would be sweet. Because, like, historically speaking, when Brainiac's ship flies around, like, the legs, like, the tentacles do rotate and, like, move independent like an octopus.
Looking at all the features and how beautiful everything works on the Javelin, wow.
If you got rid of the Darkseid buggy and added the Brainiac UFO instead, then you have the perfect set ever. Like, that would just be extremely dope. Yeah, the Brainiac will look more like super villainy, superhero-y on display, but that's kind of compensated for because Darkseid is one of the most iconic DC villains.
Which one would you never want to part with ever, Langster?
Javelin. It's the Javelin.
It's really cool. Figure selection is peak. The build is peak. It has the Monkey Kids big fig side build, whatever. It's even without that, like, it's just perfect.
Wow. Okay, I guess that's 3 for 3 on the Javelin. It's just hard because you want both of these sets as a DC fan, right? So it is a little hard to choose.
Yeah, like, this is still so good.
No disrespect to any of the other Superman sets that didn't win, even if they weren't nominated on here. I think there's a couple more, you know, like Superman 1v1 Batman. Have a couple honorable mentions, such as the Flying Fox. That looks pretty zany. We also have some Duplo representation if you have a nephew or niece.
The only Daily Planet we've ever gotten Lego.
I'm pretty sure that's the only version.
That
is the only version of the Daily Planet we've ever gotten is in the Duplo set.
Next year, that's gonna be the superhero modular next year. Just wait.
I would be fine with
Please. They do the Daily Planet next year. I'm that kid with the credit card smacking the table like, yep, give me it. Yep, give me it. I'm doing it.
Bro, you're gonna look like Cameron Studios once he bought that Galactus popcorn bucket, bro. That's gonna be you. The Darkseid Invasion, Justice League Javelin did win the competition. I kind of had a feeling it would because it just seems the most robust. Any final thoughts to underlay with Langster? Because I'm kind of going through this video, the history of Superman Lego sets. There's one conclusive statement I can say, and that is, this is a very underrepresented character in Lego for literally no reason. He's the first superhero ever made, you know, modern day superhero. He's literally the first. Where's the Daily Planet? Where's the Fortress of Solitude? Where's more robust like mechs? I expect there's, even watching the one movie from James Gunn, I could think of 10 things you could make from that movie.
And that's what's crazy is like we can finally have the opportunity with the new DCU to have more Superman sets. It's an inevitability. I'm sure Lego's just waiting to see how many billions it's going to make. It's going to make a ton of money, and I think Superman fans are going to be really happy. My reflexive statement looking at all this is like, well, bro, we missed out because of our Marvel goggles. But I think having this fresh start to the DC universe gives us also a fresh start to reevaluate. Like, we can be fans of all superheroes, whatever they may be, and some of these Superman sets are fire.
Superman, like you said, Action Comics #1, 1938. That's how old this character is. He's been around for almost 100 years. This movie that just came out was outstanding. It was so good. It just represents the essence of Superman. Everyone can have some hope. There is good in the world. We needed this movie at this time. I just loved it for that end. And I think what it also showed is it showed that Lego is not giving any love to Superman right now, which is quite sad. We got the Fortnite skins, and that's great because they're in that game. But the fact that we don't have any physical toys to go right with the movie is so sad because, like you said, Methuselah, there's locations from the Superman mythos that we have yet to get at all. And I sit here and go, Superman has, outside of Batman and the Flash, probably one of the best rogues galleries in DC of all time, and we've literally only gotten a handful of characters like Zod, Lex Luthor, Bizarro, if you really want to count the Mighty Micro. Like, we haven't really gotten a lot of Superman stuff, and I hope with this movie doing well, hopefully waking Lego up to the fact that you can do more than just Batman. DC is more than just one character. I think all we can do now is hope.
Thank you so much, Langster Builds, for joining us and carrying the entire video. I learned so much. It was actually extremely educational and beneficial, so thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge with Daniel Lewa and myself, as well as all of the Sakuga Builds fans.
Thank you again for having me. It's always a blast talking DC Comics, and if you're finding this video for the first time, subscribe to these guys because they're awesome.
Guys, please go subscribe to the Brick Hour podcast. Huge shout out to Langster Builds for joining.
Thank you all for watching, and a special shout out to our channel members for making this possible, who are...
I'm Lidme, MC Go, Uncle Michael, Uncle Norman, Oliver J. the Ginger Lender, Shui Lee, Grandma Susan, Norman Davis, Dr. Dan PhD, Sir Grizz, Richie Rage, Langster Builds, Jaborgus, Mary Kay, Cesar, Jay Jolly, and The Brick Patch. Thank you so much for being channel members and supporting this video.
And if you made it this far in the video, put a canine Pokemon, let's go Yamper today, and you'll be a real one.
Ball's in your court now, Lego. What are you going to do with it?
Nothing.
Shout out Cameron Studios.